All right, that was my attempt at Angus Young, guys. It was pretty sad.
Angus Young is raw. He's so awesome.
I hope he's not upset at my attempt. But hey guys,
he knows who we are.
He watches all the time.
Angus. We're coming from the city where those kids died in your concert.
That's right. I forgot about that. I was actually there.
You were there?
I was there.
Yeah, a couple kids died. The Delta Center.
The AC/DC concert.
Oh my goodness. I never heard about that.
You never did?
No.
No, they dumped a bunch of
Probably not.
money with AC/DC faces on it, and everyone rushed the stage. It was not pretty, but PDQ A.
PDQ A. It's obviously PDQ A usually happens on Patch Tuesday, so
or at least the week of, right?
We don't have to plan for anything. So just go ahead and ask your questions. Throw down. Do we have any?
Yeah, guys, first question of the day. The PDQ Agent is awesome, and I am super excited for the upcoming deploy options for remote machines running the agent. My question is around how those remote machine agents will be updated if the machine user does not have admin rights. Is there today, or will there be, an automated mechanism or package that can update the agent when it is not connected to the network? Thanks in advance, Jeff W.
Hey, Jeff. I like to use the word magic. But we're tech guys, and there is no such thing as magic. So
yeah, well, we've kind of got that one covered actually, and we were going to put something in bonus material. We've got a blog post out there, not a blog post. We've got a KB article on how to update the agent, and there's ways to get the agent and make sure the agent is updated when it's external. So yes, there is a way to do it. I'm not going to walk through it now.
I'll get Colby to put that stuff in there.
We'll post it up. Okay.
Yeah, if you don't mind. I mean, there's a couple extra steps that might need to be happening. The ideal way is to have your agents come in at least for the initial install.
Absolutely.
But
so
even
easy that
without that initial install, they can install it. Now, if they do install it, yes, they will need to have admin rights if they're going to install it manually. The update, however. Updates don't need to have admin rights. The updates are happening by the service. Mm-hmm. The service automatically has that right because it was installed by an admin.
So basically, that service will check in with the cloud if there's something out there. It's going to grab it,
or with the server if it's
or
internal.
the server. That's true. Yeah. Boom, you get it that way. So it should be pretty much automated.
But the first install, if you are doing it while they're external or not, they can't reach the PDQ server, then yes, if you're running that install with the config file, they will need to have admin rights.
Good point. And I did, just so you guys know, I did a video on this. So if you squint really hard, I'm almost attractive, but there is a video on how to do that. No?
I still think you don't understand what almost
let me lick
means.
your glasses.
I mean, almost is subjective. There's
Define
a margin
squint.
There's a margin of error.
Close your eyes really hard and say, can we get it a little darker? Yeah, then I'm attractive.
Yeah, I think if by squint you mean completely daydream.
That's it.
You're near the mark. Anyway, so new installs, if you're going to just provide that to them, yes, they have to have admin rights. No way around that.
Yeah.
Updates taken care of.
All right, guys, next question. Are there any of the built-in tools that work with the agent through inventory when the agent is external? If not, are there any plans to add any? Thank you very much, Brian W.
So right now, no. The tools are like tools and processes. At this point, those are called out that these will not work on external. Are there plans? We're certainly looking into it. We're looking into making the agent beefier, but when and if, we certainly can't speak to right now because it hasn't been put to code. So
yeah.
There's still discussions.
There's a significant amount that's involved with obviously, making that connection, and if it can be something that can be queued, can it be something that needs to be done right now?
Correct.
So there's a lot of logistics need to be worked out.
I think it's worth calling out that one of the things that we've done is we didn't want to have the agents call home to your network. Mm-hmm. We didn't want to have you open up ports on your firewall and worry about that. That's why everything kind of goes up to the cloud and pulls information from the cloud that your PDQ deploy server puts up there. That way, your environment is still secure. That nothing is having to come in. So, but that obviously there's
some limitations.
Kind of limits us a little bit. So it's a trade-off. Like all things in information technology and information security, decisions are effectively just another word of saying trade-off.
Trade-off. Yeah. So, what else we got?
Alrighty, you guys use Fog for imaging workstations, correct? Can I ask why you guys use Fog over WDS/MDT? Sincerely,
I'll
Slowberry
take
B.
that one.
Okay.
Okay, so I used Fog just because it was something I'd used before I came here. And now, since I don't do it, the guys have moved on to MDT because it seems to work better for them.
Plus, correct. We've had a webcast on Fog. We have used Fog in the past, but we've actually,
We have a webcast on MDT, and we got a short video on how to use MDT.
Cool.
Jake Mayhew
cool.
and I did that one. So check it out. It's a good one, guys.
But we've also just tried a few different products as well, just see how they work and et cetera, et cetera. So we're fairly product agnostic over here when it comes to the imaging.
Alrighty, how to build a package for PDQ Agent manual installation. How do I build a package for PDQ Agent manual installation with heartbeat schedule? Sincerely, that guy.
That guy.
How do I build a package for PDQ Agent manual installation? Well, I mean, you can build this is also specified in that, effectively in that KB. Let's take this as though you're going to build this, you're going to deploy this to a machine that's internal. Right? Obviously, it doesn't have an agent, so internal is necessary. So you just build a package and you can deploy that out, and it works. As far as once if that package works, you can deploy once, send it out there. Then it's just as simple. Let's just pretend that. Go ahead.
I was just going to say, it's like, okay, so if they're internal or online, just highlight everybody and launch it. Everybody that you need to launch it. If they're not online right now, I guess when you see something with an agent status that's not online, I guess at that point you could queue up, build a collection of machines that have got agent on them, and then just put a heartbeat schedule on that. That'd be a way to pick them up when they came back online.
Yeah, basically, if you've got your package, just create a schedule and then create a heartbeat, and it's still going to be based off the heartbeat. That means when inventory sees that computer's offline and then comes back online, that is what triggers that. It's not just a reboot when you're not talking about the agent, it's the heartbeat. It went offline, now it's online. If you can look over here, you see Pickle Rick is currently with a status online of no. So if Pickle Rick is a target of a deployment that has a trigger for heartbeat, when Pickle Rick comes online, that will trigger it, and that deployment will be kicked off. It's just two effective steps. You've got your package for the agent install. We got a KB that covers that. It's fairly simple, and then you just say schedule that, and then triggers you down. You just put down the heartbeat, or the heartbeat trigger, and it's based off of that.
Yeah.
So just keep that in mind. Like if you go back over here to Guinness, you see Guinness is an online status of yes. Now if I reboot Guinness right now, no agent, and he comes back online before his online status goes to no. So by default, it's a 5-minute interval. That's changed in preferences. If he comes back online before that heartbeat ever detected that he was offline, there's not going to be a heartbeat trigger.
Yeah.
Inventory has to see these offline before, but it's as simple as just creating a
package and schedule.
All right, next question. Hi, guys. At least once a month, I have to go through some admin server cleanup routines. All my steps but PDQ repository cleanup are scripted. So, is it possible to clean the PDQ repository of unused files using a script? If yes, how? Cheers, Christian M.
Hey, Christian.
Hey, Christian. Right now, no. So it's.
I just want to say, man, you got to be careful with that, cleaning up that, because I may be using some files in there that are not. Yeah.
Always be careful. But
Yeah.
for right now, it's just going to be if you've got. Let's go ahead and show the desktop. I've got PDQ Deploy open. You can see I've got 26 files unused in the repository. When you click that, it takes you to the repository cleanup. Here I can just say, yeah, let's go ahead and get all the. I'm going to do a Control A and select them all. If I wanted to exclude some, like maybe I don't want to delete the Acrobat readers, I could exclude those files. But when you hit delete, it's that simple. Yeah, it's not scripted, but that's a good question, and so we're actually going to be looking into having that be able to be completed from a CLI, so that it can be scripted. Another option we might consider is being able to have these files auto deleted after a certain amount of time, like 7 days or 14 days. But that one we're on the fence on a little bit more than the CLI, because you might have a setting there that you just forgot about or inadvertently set, and now you're deleting your files.
So I could probably send someone down a rabbit hole here. If you're good with SQL and you can find where it's stored that these are not used, you could trigger a SQL statement in PowerShell that could do
You
it.
really want to go there, huh?
I just did it. I went there. That's for you, bro. You can do it. Be careful.
And then our support team will be happy to talk to you. No,
I'm going to get lynched afterwards.
It can be done. It can be done, but it's, there's a lot of extra
Yeah,
steps.
just be
We're thinking
careful.
about making that a CLI. It's a good question. Thank you for asking it.
All right, what are any repercussions in clicking auto download, save copies of previous versions? For clarification, auto downloads automatically cleans out the immediate previous version when a new version downloads, unless this is checked. Thanks, guys. Jason A.
It's just simple. If you don't want to delete, like you've got an auto download for Chrome, and the new version of Chrome comes out, and you don't have that checked, then yeah, it's going to delete those old versions. But
Nice thing is you always grab the older versions off the site, right? And you just go, like if we go to package library here. But the ramifications, if you
it really just comes down to you. If you want those to be, kept for whatever historical reason, then check that. But just keep in mind that that's going to
take up
more
disk space, yeah, that's really it. But those are your
Yeah, you want to download this version, and you didn't go to Chrome, you went to Win10, but same thing.
just grab what
I
was
want to
there.
grab one of these. You just grab those.
and that's the nice thing. We got them stored for you, so you don't need to. Yeah.
Although the Windows 10 probably remove some of those. You don't need, since they're cumulative, you don't need that many.
There's a limit on how many we will store. I will put that out there.
All right. It's up to you, Jason.
Alrighty. We have multiple users/package builders in our PDQ Deploy environment. Is there a way in PDQ Deploy to see who last edited or created a package? Same question for inventory and collections. Thanks in advance, Frederick R.
Not for collections, and I think we had a similar question a little while ago at the last PDQ A when it came to reports. I believe we track that, but we do track some of that stuff in Deploy. So if you are using Central Server, then you can generally go. Let's see, is it right here? Maybe somebody knows the answer to that. If not, it's it's going to be in the database where we track. We track. I think the user
worked
that
on it
created
last,
it. I don't think we
who's-
track who edited it. I think it's who created it.
It's just created, so
I
it's
believe
not
so.
who saved it last.
If Colby or somebody wants to correct us on that one, let us know. But it's not for collections or reports and inventory.
I have a package that cleans up temp folders and files on PCs. I also have a collection that scans every morning, and I can see PCs that have less than 10% free space. Then I manually run the package on those PCs. Can I automate this at all? Thank you, Jeff K.
Well, sure.
Absolutely.
All you got to do is create. So you've got your package that cleans that up. So you just want to schedule that, and the target will be this collection that you've created, and just have it run. So if you run this every morning, then
So you make sure
have
your
that
scan
central
runs
set.
early. Get that scan running early in the morning, and then give it an hour or so all those scans can finish, depending on how many machines you've got, and then have that schedule kick off. And that's
and then
automation
do
right
it,
there.
and then do a scan after. Now, if you're going to do a scan after, make sure you're scanning. So remember, let's just say that.
Inventory.
Huh? No, I'm just going to say that
Oh,
the PDQ
okay.
Inventory Agent. Let's just say that this package was
Was a
doing
cleanup.
what you're doing. It's a cleanup package. When you deploy this, I'm going to open this package up. And let's see, where are we? Properties. There we go. On the options and properties, there is a scanning. You could just set this to scan after deployment. Now, the program default, you might have it be set to applications or something. If it's not standard or not a profile that includes the
Disk scan.
the disk scan, then do that. Scan after deployment. Choose the profile that will collect that information, so that after your cleanup package is executed during the schedule, after it's deployed during that schedule, it'll scan that computer. That computer should then leave your collection. So it's not going to be the target of this until it shows up again. The answer is yes. What you want to do, though, is no. I'm going to once again pretend that this is your cleanup package. I'm going to hit Control D, but I'm going to say schedule. You don't want in the targets to choose the targets. You want to link to a PDQ inventory collection, and then choose that collection. Let's see, disk.
While he's looking that up, that link to is dynamic. To choose would be a static list, just to make sure you know.
So let's just say that you say go to disks, say OK. When this kicks off, when this schedule kicks off, it will then pull up at that moment the members of the disks collection or whatever collection you specify and deploy to those members. So that's what you'll want to do.
Absolutely, you can automate that.
There's another way you could do it if you want, and that is deploy to everything, but have a condition set to only deploy this to machines that are in this collection. It'd be a collection condition.
Yeah, that'd be a little inefficient.
Yeah, it's a little inefficient.
But yeah.
Alrighty, what is the best practice for updating O365 client click to run with PDQ Deploy and PDQ Inventory, since those particular updates are not a part of the package library? Your friend, Stephen V.
Yeah, hey, Stephen. At this point, really, it just comes down to WSUS. There's so many different
Little pieces and
there's so many different updates. If you don't want to use WSUS, then it's a lot more manual. You'll have to go out there, find those updates that apply to the computers in your environment, and then push those out. Build a package and push them out. It's kind of tedious. You're right. Those are not part of the package library. If they're ever added, we're going to have to be able to account for those that are superseded and superseding, and we just don't have that ability right now.
Okay, next question. You guys have probably never heard this one before. What are the future plans for the PDQ agent?
To keep on improving it. Slobbery.
Adding amazingly slowberry.
Basically to keep on improving it.
Absolutely.
That's it.
Just like the rest of our products, it's like we're always adding features. We're always trying to get better.
It's a constant thing. Yeah. Obviously, our next big step is to have some integration with PDQ Deploy. But then we have to. There's some hurdles we have to make sure that we're not doing unnecessary downloads and that we're getting what you're expecting. So it's an ongoing process, but trust me, the agent is not just, hey, this is the state it's going to be in for time and all eternity. No, it's gonna be constantly updated.
Absolutely.
I'm sorry for such a general answer, but it will be. Keep an eye out for those release notes, because that's where we'll break down the new features.
Next question. Can PDQ Inventory auto-discover devices on a network such as printers, firewalls, switches, etc.? We're currently evaluating inventory, but noticed we have no way to inventory other devices. Please advise. Thanks ahead of time, Kenneth R.
Hi, Kenneth. So you're going to want to do, now we do focus on the Windows machines, but we do know you do have some machines out there, or some devices like printers, etc., Linux machines. Number one, if there's a Linux or a Mac computer in AD, and you are using Active Directory Sync, we will import those. You can't scan them, but you can mark them as don't scan, but this is a Mac, this is Linux. As far as others, there's network discovery, and network discovery is where
you go to computers, add computer and network discovery, and it'll run on a subnet. Basically, it'll go run some pings.
IP address or an IP address range, or you can just specify your subnet, and then it will go out there and literally scan those and come back, and you'll see some, as long as they're on the network and those IP addresses, you might see a printer, you might see a scanner.
You see VoIP phones, all kinds of.
It's just then at that point you'll see them in inventory, mark them as do not scan. To mark something as do not scan, you'd go out here. We'll say noob. You just right click on it and uncheck allow scan.
Now, when you do that, if you open that up, it's going to allow you to go in and make some changes to the description and stuff on the computer, so that you have some information you could actually do some reporting and that on. So
you could change the OS to this VoIP phone or to a Lexmark printer or something, and then make your collections based off of that. And when you open a computer that's got that scan disabled, you'll see at the bottom of that the allow scan is disabled. So there's a little extra work for you, but
You can't
that
add
is how
them.
you do it. Network discovery is probably what you're going to want to use.
All right, next question. Can you guys tell me how to enable query local users for TightVNC tool? I want users to be able to accept or reject sessions. Sincerely, Dale P.
Hi, Dale. How to enable query local users?
I couldn't tell you how to do that off the top of my
Off
head.
the top of my head, no. But the cool thing about TightVNC and real VNC, basically the VNC products, is the level of configuration that you can specify during your installation. So
That's
when you're
true.
building the package, it's usually going to be an INI file that specifies all of the settings, all the different options. You're going to have to modify that and then have that be part of your deployment. There's also, in some VNC installations, don't use a file but use a registry. And it just depends on how you want to do that. If you use the registry, then you'll want to use a registry scanner in inventory to make sure that all your computers have the appropriate settings that you want. But the answer is, I don't know, except I don't know the specific answer to query local users. I just do know you have so many options. What you're going to want to do is get a machine running TightVNC that is set up the way you want.
Yeah.
And then go out, grab that INI file, and use that, just copy that out to your network, use that as part of your package so that machines that get TightVNC, even if you just want to update it, throw that INI file out there and restart the service, and
Yeah.
they should be good to go.
Absolutely.
Guys, I've seen various answers to this, but I'd like your thoughts. What's the best way to deploy a custom package, .exe, in PDQ Deploy that you need to run as administrator? In other words, for any logged on user can access the program. Stephen T.
Well, number one, when you deploy, by default, you're going to run as administrator.
Absolutely.
So once we'll just take this PDQ Inventory agent here, hit Control D. Notice in the run as, you're running, by default, it's whatever the package setting is, but generally it's going to be deploy user. Deploy user needs to have administrative rights. Now, if you're talking about deploying an application that it gets installed, it needs to get installed as the logged on user. So, there are a handful of those applications out there. Like GoToMeeting has historically been this way. If you install it as the deploy user, another user won't be able to access it. You can run into a limitation if you are deploying something that says, I need to run this as the logged on user. Just do the run as. That's in the deployment. You can also just specify that in the package at the properties level, where run as logged on user. But at this point, if you do the logged on user, and you can do this per step, maybe you have 8 steps and 7 of them you want deploy user, but the last one is logged on user. Remember, that has the highest precedence, any step logged on that you run. But anyway, if that application does require administrative rights, but it must be installed by the user that's going to use it, then yes, you have now officially run into a problem.
Now, will you pop that question up, Jake? Can you pop that back up? Because I think I read that question a little different, which
Okay.
is it needs to be installed as an admin, and then the user itself needs to be able to run it as if they were an admin. And if that's the case,
Do you have that? Pop up the last
can you just
question.
pop that last question up?
Yeah. The most previous one.
The one you
Can we
just.
get Kelly from vacation?
I'm so sorry.
So
to fail.
I guess here's the thing: if you have to run the application as an administrator, so installing it as an administrator is not a big deal because it's going to get installed as an administrator. But if you've got to allow the local user to run it as an administrator, I'm not sure that.
So-
I mean,
What's the best way to deploy a custom package that's in EXE
Okay.
and deploy that you need to run as administrator? So I see this as the deploy is, he's using the run as, the one word run as, so it needs to be executed as administrator. So that goes back to the way I'm reading that goes back to my original answer. If the application does require administrative rights, and if you install this as John, even remove PDQ Deploy or any other deployment tool from the equation. You go to this user's computer, you log in as yourself because you have administrative rights, and you install this application. It works because you're administrator. but that user can't access it because either they're not an administrator or they don't see it, yeah, you're going to kind of run into a problem.
Yeah.
Now, a lot of applications that, honestly, there's a lot of applications that say no, run as a user, but we don't require administrative rights. Everything goes into local data or into app data instead of program data. At that point, just run as logged on user, and they should be fine. They just have to be logged on when you deploy it. If not, then as far as they're concerned, they didn't get it.
Yeah.
All right, ready for another one, guys?
Yeah,
For sure.
Since I have started installing the agent, it seems like my scheduled deployments are failing to run on my targeted old group. Did I miss something in this process, or does it seem like my configuration is off? Andrew S.
So I'm taking it that you're installing the agent. The agent itself is failing. Or are you saying you've installed the agent and now your other scheduled deployments are failing to run on the agent machines? I guess I need some clarification. Jason, do you have anything? Are you reading that any differently?
I'm reading it that his scheduled deployments that he was targeting the old group are now failing after installing the agent.
And then that would beg the question, are the agents coming back as unavailable? Are they external? If they're external, then they're not going to work. They've got to be internal at this point to handle this for sure. Especially if it's a custom package. Even the next version, when we introduce the agent and deploy, it's only going to work for package library.
Yeah, and I know the recommendation right now from support is to install 16.4, and if that doesn't help, reach out to support. Maybe there's something else we can look at.
When Jason says 16.4, he's talking about the latest release
Of inventory.
of inventory. It's PDQ Inventory 16 Release 4. Make sure you are running that. There are some agent issues that were fixed. Remember, we introduced this in 16, so each of the point releases has addressed issues with the agent.
Yeah.
Really, it has. So make sure you're running 16.4, buddy. All right.
Okay.
All right. I think that's pretty much a wrap on PDQ and A today. Thanks, you guys. If you have any questions, by all means, hit up our additional questions. Hit up our support site.
Absolutely.
Remember, some of those questions that come through, they're effectively veiled feature requests. So you can still ask the question.
I can answer all those.
But
Maybe.
perhaps
We'll go with that. Perhaps, yes.
But that's that. So Jake, who won the swag?
Yeah.
We'll talk to you guys later.
See you guys.
Alrighty, thanks for joining us today, guys. Congrats to our winners, Frederick R., Jeff W., and Bijay Krishna D. I really hope I pronounced that correctly. All right. Again, thanks for joining us. You guys, the winners, send us your info at webcast@pdq.com, and we'll get that sent to you guys. If anybody has additional questions, don't forget to hit up our support forums and check out our YouTube channel. There are plenty of helpful videos on there. All right, guys, we will catch you again next week.